I'm Scott Stein, and all you third-gen iPad owners, I have unfortunate news. Yes, there is a new iPad, a fourth-generation iPad, and what does that mean? Well, it does seem that in one calendar year, we've made two generational leaps instead of one. And if you bought a third-gen iPad, I'm sorry, because you don't have the cutting-edge iPad anymore. If you have not bought an iPad, it's actually really good news, because this is an improvement over the third-gen iPad, at least in terms of the processor. There's an A6X instead of an A5X. And what does that mean? Well, the last iPhone, the iPhone 5, made a leap from an A6 from an A5 previously, and it was about double the speed. And so far, using this, that seems to be the case here too. The system boots faster, apps load faster, even games play faster on it. For the most part, this looks exactly the same as the other one. It still has a 2048 by 1536 Retina display. It has the same thickness, the same weight, comes in black and white. On the street, you couldn't tell them apart, and they feel pretty similar. Now, there are a few key differences. One, there is the Lightning connector, so that these are all part of the same iOS family. The other difference with the new 4th-gen iPad is that there's an HD front-facing camera that takes crisper FaceTime videos, shoots 720p, and crisper still photos of yourself. Is it the iPad to get? Now that's the question, because now there are two iPads. There's the 4th gen, and there's this little iPad mini floating around, which is incredibly convenient, very light, and very fun to use. Now I imagine these are going to be two very different use cases, because the iPad mini really feels almost like a Kindle or a book, and it has an iPad 2's guts inside essentially, but you don't really notice that if you're caring about reading or video playing. Now the 4th gen iPad, this thing is a powerhouse, and it's the fastest iOS device that's on the market right now. It eclipses the iPhone 5, and it provides the best combination of power and performance. For those who want that, this is the way to go. If you're a pro user, if you're using this for photography, if you're using this for video editing, if you're using this as a laptop alternative, then the 4th gen iPad is the way to go. And if you were thinking about buying an iPad before, if you were on the fence, if you were waiting to see, well then this is absolutely the right time to get it, because let's face it, I don't really know when the next iPad's going to come out. Now, would that happen sooner or later? Odds are that would be later. And this iPad now is the iPad for a considerable time. And starting at $499, the same as before, for 16 gigs, going up to 32 and 64 gigs, and with additional LTE capabilities, you know, it matches the price that we've seen before. And LTE is a little bit different. This now works better internationally, whereas the 3rd gen iPad did not. And that could be part of the reason why this is going to be a lot more appealing globally for markets that weren't able to use LTE before. So why all of a sudden did everybody suddenly get a little less excited about the large iPad? Well, I think the iPad mini has a lot to do with it, because it's an exciting new design. But let's not forget that earlier this year, this was the premier tablet to get, and still is, because of its app collection and because of its performance. And the faster processor means this is a better product. All around, this is an improvement on the 3rd gen iPad, although it's really not enough to consider buying for that upgrade. But if you haven't bought an iPad before and we're looking for a new fast one, the 4th gen is absolutely the one to get. On the other hand, if you want something that's more portable, something that's maybe your second iPad even, or something that's more affordable, go for the iPad mini. It's a difficult decision to make, but I think it's really about portability versus performance this time with the two new iPads that are on the market. I'm Scott Stein, and that's a look at the new 4th generation iPad from Apple.